Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today I want to talk about the late summer, early fall transition and fishing bait fish profile baits to really start catching some fish. This time of year can be super tough. We got a bunch of underwater today, so let's dive in and we'll talk about it. Let's go. All right guys, so when I think summer, late summer to fall, early fall transition, I want to be thinking about bait fish and I want to be thinking about bass are now moving. They're no longer where they used to be in the summer. They're no longer up under the docks or out deep on the ledges or out deep on the deep grass. They're kind of here, there, everywhere in between. The fall, early fall especially, can be a tough time to fish because fish are in transition and they are moving literally everywhere, right? And that's because they're following bait fish. So in the fall, bait fish come back in like it's the spring. And when they come back in, they tend to not be that big. They're small, they're glass minnows, they're shad, they're this, but there's thousands of them everywhere. And that makes fishing kind of tough in certain places. If you're fishing northern natural lakes, you get those gizzard shad that come back in, you get those pilot minnows and those greenback shiners that come in and really kind of mix things up for bass and move them around to a lot of different places. So today we've got 4 baits that I'm gonna fish this time of year to really give myself an edge and help me to catch those fish in a tough, difficult time of the year. So the first bait up here, when we get this transition period starting to happen and the bite gets funky, is a downsized chatterbait, the Z-Man Chatterbait Mini Max. I love this because one, it is a downsized head, it's a downsized package and profile, but it is a literal chatterbait. It's got a nice high-pitched thump to it. And what this bait is going to do is it's going to imitate those shad really well because that's a 3-inch package right there. And it's a great profile to throw this time. Now, I love throwing bait fish color pattern, and I really enjoy throwing the Mini Max this time of the year. I feel like the Mini Max is better than the big blade. It's better than the regular size chatterbait. The Mini Max this time of year with 2 trailers. Here we have the Berkeley Havoc Grass Pig on there in the 3-inch version. I like them in bait fish colors, and I rig it upside down. Now, I rig it upside down so you get a nice even kick on it. That is one of my favorite. I like it because it's a nice slim profile bait and it's got a nice kick and tail on it. I rig it with that, or I rig it with a Rattle Worm in the pearl color and the white color. I like a Rattle Worm on the back of there too. I cut it down so it's a nice skinny profile, a nice even, concise, small package, if you will, throwing it at those fish. So the Chatterbait Mini Max, I'm gonna throw that in windy pockets, anywhere where fish can corral bait. Think about V's, right? Anywhere you're gonna find bass this time of year, they're corralling bait fish. Throw it in those V's and those pockets and areas, right? Great spot to throw it. Next up, as we get into those pockets and we get towards vegetation, I'm going to throw the Rattle Worm Texas rigged right here with a 3/0 owner extra wide gap hook right here. Super light presentation, and I'm gonna Texas rig that worm just like that. It comes through everything. I like a little bit of a downward bend in that rig, and what I'm gonna do with this is I'm literally gonna throw it through any vegetation. I like the baby bass color here in this because it looks like one of those greenback emerald shiners that comes in just like that. It darts and weaves. It's got that nice rattle in it, so it's going to do a great job for me. The thing that I really like the most about the Rattle Worm is it's got the action of a fluke, but it has that extra pop with that rattle in there. I've caught a lot of fish fishing this weightless. You can do a lot with this bait. I'm super pumped about the application in the fall because it's a perfect 4.5-inch size. It's a small fluke. It's got that extra rattle in it. It does a very good job for me at being a weightless bait, at coming through all of that cover, snaking through there, and really allowing bass to be ambush predators. I really enjoy the baby bass color. I enjoy the pour on it, and it's going to be a very good player for me in the fall. The next thing that I'm going to do, because we're going to have so many bait fish shallow, I want an active swim bait up in the mix. I've got a Scottsboro Tackle 3-inch swim bait right here. It's got a nice big thump on it. on a 1/8 ounce Screwlock Jig Head. Now, I like the Screwlock Jig Head in the 1/8 ounce this time of the year because let me unwind it. It literally is gonna keep that swim bait on there, so you've got that nice tungsten screw lock on there. I throw these on my Alabama rigs all the time, but what I really like to do when I screw this onto this bait is it really allows me to put this swim bait through its paces, and this time of year, once you catch one, you're gonna catch a bunch, and that Screwlock Jig Head's gonna keep that swim bait in place for me. I like the white pearl color or the white ice color in that jig head, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna throw this through that grass. I'm gonna burn it over top of all of that stuff. It's a nice 3-inch packaged swim bait, but it's gonna get bit, and when I get bit, I wanna get it back in there as fast as I can, because you're gonna fish along the bank, you're gonna fish through these pockets, not catch a thing, then you're gonna go boom, 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 right in a row, you're gonna catch 3 or 4 in a row, then you're gonna go cold, then you're gonna go cold for a while again, and then you're gonna go boom, 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 right in a row. So I like the Screwlock swim bait head here because it gives you the advantage of being able to catch multiple fish on a swim bait in a row without having to retie. It's also one of my favorite times to throw the Scottsboro because it's got a nice big kick on it. It really allows you to do well and catch it. The last thing that I'm gonna fish when I'm fishing these windy pockets, or the first thing that you will, is the walking topwater bait, right? I like the downsize Sexy Dawg Juniors, the Shower Blows 3.5. Literally a small walking bait this time of the year around any kind of emergent vegetation or cover is going to get bit. The frog bite is still there, but you really got to dedicate to the frog to get bit right now. The walking bait, however, is a bait that will get bit 9 times out of 10 in a lot of different places. I really enjoy throwing the walking bait. It's just a bait that's going to get bit this time of year when fish are in transition. So all 4 of these baits, the chatterbait, the rattle worm, the swim bait, the walking bait, specialize literally in covering water, right? The more water that you cover, the better chance that you're going to have of running into a literal big fish or a school of fish, right? The more water that you cover, when you find them, you can kind of slow down, but the fall in this transition period is really all about moving through and cycling through all of these baits and really finding where those fish are. Once again, the fish are 90% of the fish are in 10% of the water. You got to find that 10% in the fall. If you guys like what's going on the channel right now, give us a like, subscribe, comment, let us know what lures you want to see underwater. We got a lot of stuff planned. We got some trips planned, some cool things. So give us a like, subscribe, support us, go to those Omnia links, buy all the stuff there. We'll see you out there, guys. Say hello when you're on the water. We love talking to people. We love hanging out with you guys and talking about fishing. So we'll see you out there next time.